Alright, we've got this 94 Pathfinder that I have off of the frame right now. It is getting a lot of metal work done to it. We are trying to close in some of this wheel well. I welded this panel in to fix some of the stuff that I have going on here. And that is my C-notch. And it's almost sealed up. I'm going to put some seam sealer in some of this, mainly in here where you can see light through it. I'm going to seam seal so water and air cannot come into the cab on that. And we have a big gaping hole here, and we had one coming down here, but now it's just up here. I've welded a panel in right here, and what I'm doing is I'm taking some steel, 18 gauge steel, and I'm going to put this one right up here. I've already got it shaped to fit, so I'm going to be welding onto this outside body right along here. I'm gonna have to be very careful. Just tack weld. That's gonna warp. So I'm just gonna try not to let it get hot at all. I've already got this one bent. It will fit up into there. The reason I've got all of this is because I widened this entire rear body to clear some wider wheels. Actually, they're Nissan Titan wheels. They're not much wider than what this came with. But you can see that I had to cut all of the structure and push this entire thing out. And when I did, it dimpled all of this body. It's a big dimple right there. And I had to weld that hole up. And this is what it looked like on the other side before I put that big plate. The plate goes all the way to the top here, and it covers all of that, and also a little bit of rust that we had. I've knocked out all of the rust and sealed this up some, but I'm going to cover it. And then I will also have to fix this and the rocker where this is terrible. This is the worst spot in the entire body. That will all get cut out, replaced. And on this side, I'm going to have to weld a plate in that covers these holes and comes down. And I'll just have to seal that up with some seam sealer or something like that. Panel bond. Make sure none of this rust is going to come back. Do the best I can. It's always going to come back. Brand new vehicle is going to rust at some point, so the best I can get this is basically where a new one would come from, but you can't get rid of all of it. So anyway, I got to come all the way to the very top with this one where this door edge is. You got to come all the way down to here. So from here on the inside to here on the inside, just like the other side, I'm gonna have to form all of that and put that in. This is gonna get some seam sealer. Lots of finishing up. This is, I've been dreading this for a while. I do not want to do this. I've already done the front. I've already got all of this. This just goes to right here. I'm not too concerned about that. I've already got all of this bedlined all underneath, except for the very back. I went ahead and painted this. You know, the motor's going to be there, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and it is not perfect. But some of this will be exposed, and it looks pretty decent. And then I've got the nose where it will bolt in. I've got all these videos on here on YouTube. And I'm going to paint where the doors all bolt in, just like I did the front here. And I'm going to make sure these are tapped out. And then I will paint the front of the doors at some point. And they are out here. Bottom side of the hood's done. We're closing in on some of this. I'll paint this part of all the doors to where I can bolt it in. And if I have to make adjustments on the door, the white or whatever color won't show. It'll just all be blue. I keep this door shut because this air conditioner unit right here cannot keep up. That's all I've got right now. And it's like 96, something like that outside. And yes, I painted my windshield, but it will all scrape off. I didn't feel like crawling up there with a ladder, so I'll just scrape it off with a razor later. It'll be fine, even if I have to lose my stickers. I should have taped that off, but whatever. Alright, so I'm going to continue on welding and try to get some of this knocked out. I would really like to finish this today, but this really sucks. But if I can get all of this welded in, this side will pretty much be done. And then I can do the other side. That plate is bent precisely. And actually did a pretty decent job. So I've got some pinholes right here and a plate that I've welded in. So I've got some cleaning up to do there. But we're almost there. I'll cut you back on. Okay, all I'm doing is taking some metal shears. These are pretty nice. They have cut and cut and cut, and they still are sharp and cut perfect. I've cut a lot out here working on this vehicle, and I've put them through it. I've decided what I'm going to do right in here. Instead of weld, because that's the outside body, I'm just going to panel bond or seam seal that. Now I'm working on this one. I can come all the way down here to the bottom. This is not quite bent right, and I'm not doing a very good job cameraing, videoing, whatever. I'm gonna have to nip a little bit right here off to get it to line up a little bit better. But that body line is right here, and that is interfering with me, so I'm gonna have to build a small one to go from the top to the bottom right here, and stay away from that body line with this longer one. I'll just cut a little angle off. I'll bend this a little bit better to get it to fit in there a little bit better. And I will weld it to this trailer fender here. I'll weld it down best I can. This is raining sparks on me, and it really sucks, like really bad. Just one piece at a time here, and I will finally achieve victory. I can feel it. That is a nightmare up in there. I'm also going to panel bond or seam seal that. This is urethane glue right here. There was some pinholes here and there, and that will seal that up. I do have another tube of that urethane glue. That'll be like rubberized undercoat, and it should last a while. Those glue windshields in. That's windshield glue, and windshields don't fall out for 20 years. They're still solid, and I'll just keep on going. This really sucks. I hate this. I've been dreading this for a very long time. I didn't even come out here for half of the day today because this was my task for the day. I didn't even start until about 1 o'clock. But this has to get done. The only way to get this done is to come out here and do it. There's only one of me. I'm working out here by myself every day, and I can't put this task on anybody else. So anyway, I will get it done, and I will show you how I struggle through it the entire way. One piece at a time. So hopefully this will be my last piece that I need to weld in. I have to carve out the body line out of this little piece, and then I will be ready after this cools off. I'll put in some probably panel bond, and I may weld right here, I may not, I don't know. And then put some panel bond up in there and around in here somewhere, right in there. Yeah. Oh my God, this sucks. I will get through this. I keep telling myself that. That is where the gas tank, whoo, boy, that was bright, wasn't it? That's where the gas tank right there, filler neck, comes in. Hopefully that will not leak. It's way up there, and the tire is gonna be way over here, so you'd have to travel a good ways. You'd have some spray going on to get it up in there. And then even if it did get in here, this body keeps falling back and forth. It is very scary. So even if it did come up in there, it's still gonna have to go through all of this. Anything in this hole might get it a little bit of like a water mist spray up in here. I'll just have to be careful. Maybe it'll drain out down here somewhere or something. What a mess. Might need to put me a little drain hole down here. There is one right there. I've got a wire coming out of it right now. That's weird. We'll just consider that to be good. And I will continue to build this. I've got to close in all this. We got some caddy tails going in. This will have to get moved. I'm going to make a little bracket maybe inside here to hold that. I don't know. Amplifier maybe on this side. I will look at that here in just a little bit. Alright, I'll cut you back on. Okay, moving on to the other side. We have those two holes we're going to try to cover with this plate right here. And we have the big slit. And we are going to try to cover all the way down to this rust right here. We'll try to seal up that rust best we can. This plate is not bent correctly still. I've been beating on it, but I'm going to have to hammer on this some more. It's a little rocky up here, rocks a little bit, so I'm going to take that bend out that I have put in it, and I don't know, I'll just try to keep shaping it down here in the floor with these body hammers and keep trimming it. Eventually I'll get it to where it fits, and I'll put some kind of rust killer on this, and we will go from there. I went through my stuff and I was able to find this. I've used almost all of it, but I have enough left here. That is a KBS Coatings Rust Blast. It leaves a zinc phosphate coating behind. It will kill this rust, and it will leave a zinc phosphate that will be able to withstand elements. I've got something going on right here. That is not good. I bet I have to do a rust repair like I do up here. This is going to really suck. This is probably my least favorite part. No, it's not. Wiring is my least favorite part. But all of this has to be 100% fixed before this goes back on the frame. Alright, I will just keep pushing through this, and I will cut you back on here in just a bit. I just took a piece of cardboard and cut it to the shape that I needed it to fit into this spot here. This is the rear wheel well and the front side, and like that. I'm going to cover this entire thing up with a new piece of metal. I've killed the rust here, and that will seal up this hole here. Completely seal that up, and then I will come back and fix everything else. That's my last hole. I went ahead and cleaned all of this up, and all up in here I put that in, and there's a hole right there, but I think I'm just going to seam seal that. It should seal that up good. Alright, I'm gonna take my plasma cutter and cut this piece out of some steel over here. 16 gauge. I'm having to do this with the shop open, and it's gonna get hot today, but I got all of the welding done that I think I can. It skips a little bit right here, and I'm just gonna put some kind of sealer in there, and I'm gonna put some sealer right here so that I don't catch all this on fire. But it's welded all the way around other than those two spots. Should be good to go. I'm going to use this panel bond 8115, and I'm also going to use seam sealer. All this stuff should seal that up. That's a 8310. I've got a couple of these. That ought to get everything cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and wipe some of this with probably lacquer thinner. I'll just wipe around in here with lacquer thinner to clean that up. And my welder kicked off, so now you can probably hear me. And with it cleaned up, then hopefully this stuff will stick for the next 20-30 years. No issues. I have to clean that up too. Anywhere I can see sunlight coming through where I want it not to be, it needs to be sealed completely. Alright, I'm gonna start putting this together here. Start wiping. I'll wipe around in there, clean all that up too. Alright, I'll cut you back on. I went around everywhere that I could find, and I put in the seam sealer, and I put in the panel bond on this right up in here. And got it cleaned up pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is, there's a piece of my glove that I had on. What I'm gonna do now, where did I put it? I just had it in my hand. It's the story of my life right here. I'm gonna put this underneath, and I'll fix all of that later, like in a few days. I'm gonna go under here and look around and see where I need some of this. It's urethane windshield adhesive, and that will seal up all of my other little things that I have going on. And then I'll cut you back on. Alright, I've got all of that put in. Now I'm going to use this gun and spray in another coat of this bed liner. And I used 2.5 quarts of that. I sprayed the inside here, and I sprayed the underside, other than basically the very back and the wheel wells, mainly the rear wheel wells. All of that is dry now. Everything is good to go. I'm gonna make sure this is sealed up really nice. That second coat of bed liner should take care of everything else. I'm gonna spray in here as well. Try to help clean some of that up. Alright. It's getting hot. I'm gonna try to get this going here and just be done for the day. Painted these panels this morning. I had some chips in the bumper. I ended up having to redo the bumper, and about 3 hours ago, and being out here in the sun, these are already cured out really nice. I can touch them and go ahead and put those up. I got a couple pieces of trash. I just sprayed them out here in the yard. This is Orion Gravity Blue with the Orion Euro Clear, and this is over white. It turned out really good. There was a chip right here. It worked itself out real nice. There's nothing wrong with that now. This is the frame for the Pathfinder. And this is the Orion Pearl. It is a pearl white. It looks silver in the can, but it's like magic when you put it on there. It's actually a white. These are just a little bit dusty and dirty from being out here. I finally got my lug nuts in the mail, and my valve stem caps. Pretty cool. I've got to get this Pathfinder done and get it out of the way. It is bad in the way. Here's the Pathfinder. I used the Orion bed liner on the floor, on the inside, and on the floor under, and I've got everything sealed up, welded up. It is solid now. This is ready to go back on the frame. I've got a couple holes I got to fix in my rockers. I think I'm going to go ahead and fix the rockers prior to assembly back on the frame. And the firewall is painted. It is not perfect at all, but we're gonna roll with that on the firewall. It is bad in my way. I've got to get it out of here. Got to get it done. I just can't get over this color. That is slick. I love that color. You guys have an awesome day.